Welcome, Web of Wires. I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember, and Pikmin was never one of them. People always say such great things about the Pikmin franchise and how every gamer needs to play Pikmin.
I played Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 more than anything else.
A gamer that has never played Pikmin can never be considered a true gamer.
And so I bought it. Let's see if I regret that. I've always been scared of Pikmin. It seems like every single person who plays a Pikmin game instantly becomes a longtime fan. Then I saw the game at Best Buy and reconsidered my title as a gamer. So congratulations, Pikmin fans, you finally got me to play your game. I immediately fell in love with the silly yet serious presentation. The writing is very cute. The entire story is told through Olimar's thoughts, and as someone who knew close to nothing about the story, it was really neat learning little things like how Olimar's ship is named Dolphin, which was also the GameCube's codename. But what I don't understand is how they could say so much in such little time, and then have this as their tutorial. Like, what were they doing? Yeah, so I just started Pikmin, and the tutorial is stupid long. I preheated the oven. I'm just gonna make a pizza instead, because it's kind of getting boring. That way I have at least something to look forward to in case I hate Pikmin. I'll put the camera down there. Yeah, I mean, so far it's not too bad. The tutorial's dumb long, and it's kind of getting boring. So, in case I don't like Pikmin, I got a pizza. After finishing the tutorial and baking my pizza, the game flipped itself around and became a major threat to anyone with anxiety. People management. When you have 2 or 3 Pikmin running around, it's really easy to keep track of them, but most things require 30 or 40 of them, and these little guys will do whatever comes to their mind. Pick at grass? Sure. Take this weird thing? Why not? Trip on a rock? You get the point. It's like keeping track of 100 preschoolers. They'll vaguely do what you tell them to. You just gotta make sure none of them drown or something. I just drowned 5 Pikmin. You learn very early on that this game tells you nothing. A lot of your discoveries involve experimentation, whether it's your Pikmin getting eaten by a monster, or a Pikmin dropping a bomb and killing everyone. Lots of Pikmin die, but it's for science. It's similar to Metroid in that sense, how the player is supposed to experiment with the controls and come up with their own clever solutions. Even the map works in a similar sense, with walls being put up all over the place that can be broken down to make travel faster. First impressions on this game were very strong. I played a solid 2.5 hours so far, and I still feel like I barely scratched the surface. So I just had my first real experience with Pikmin. I played Pikmin 4's demo in the past, and I also played Hey Pikmin on the 3DS. But yeah, no, it was a pretty enjoyable experience. I had a ton of fun with it. I do think the Pro Controller did play a little bit into my disenjoyment of it. That being said, I am excited to play the game for the second time, because hopefully now the tutorial will actually be finished. I think the only thing I'm conflicted on is the controller. I used my Pro Controller for the first play session. I figured this game was built for the GameCube controller, but is also known to work better with pointer controls. So I'd start out with this, and then switch to Joy-Con later. I honestly didn't see what much of the fuss is about. I thought it controlled fantastically with the Pro Controller. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong and I just don't know how poorly this game controls. So I just launched up the game for the second time, and I switched to Joy-Cons this time. It's much better. I was not expecting how much better this game would get with Joy-Cons. The game went from fast-paced to laid-back so quickly. Sure, some parts racked up the intensity, but it was much easier to focus on strategizing rather than where my thumbs were. I started to notice little things in the environment, like how stepping through the grass causes a bunch of bugs to fly out, or how the water is impressively detailed for the GameCube. But what I found weird is that a lot of people online focus more on the Pikmin themselves and their gameplay loop, but completely gloss over how grim this game can get. At the end of the day, Olimar is still stranded on this planet. He misses his family and will do anything it costs to see them again, even if it means sacrificing hundreds of Pikmin. Somehow I was ignorant enough to not realize it was a race against the clock, which makes you even more motivated to find every ship part. So I didn't know this going in, but Pikmin 1 is the only game in the franchise to have a 30-day time limit. From a gameplay perspective, I loved the time limit. It keeps me thinking of more and more ways to make my time more efficient. The quicker I can get things done, the more likely I am to bring Olimar home. At this point in the game, I've only unlocked 4 locations. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. When people talk about the world of Pikmin, I expected a level system similar to Mario games where you clear each stage once and go back for extra collectibles if desired. It's not that the levels themselves are of poor quality or lack content, but having a game like Pikmin with so much personality and then only having 4 very similar environments was a letdown. And by the looks of things so far, there's not gonna be more levels, let alone a 5th. I just finished playing Pikmin for nearly 9 hours straight. I am tired of the game. I'm fed up with it. It's a good game, but I kind of was expecting a little bit more out of it. There's only 4 levels, and I've been playing them for 9 hours. They're good levels, but you don't want to replay one Mario level for 2 hours, do you? Yeah, I didn't think so. If I wasn't making this video, I would have just gotten bored and stopped playing. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I'm completing the same mindless chores over and over. At this point, I was just tired of Pikmin. But I had come so far that I felt obligated to finish the game. And the further I go into my journey, the harder it is to ignore Pikmin's aesthetic. Pikmin 1 feels like a time capsule into 2001 Nintendo. Anywhere from the experimental gameplay or the text looking like Bubble Buddy's handwriting to the music sounding like something ripped straight from an old VHS cartoon. At this point, Pikmin's world building was the only thing keeping me here. Right when you thought the game couldn't get any more creative, another 50 ideas are thrown your way. Lots of these ideas help develop Olimar's story and open the franchise into receiving sequels. But we already know that Pikmin got sequels. I'm even playing on the Pikmin 1 and 2 cartridge, but it's just so hard to ignore when playing the first game. Even the cover art shows enough new features to make me feel resentful. But I persisted, and turned on my Switch the next day so I could sit down and finish what I had started. Alright, so this is my last time launching up Pikmin. I did the math. There's one ship part that just isn't included in any of the 4 maps. There may actually be a 5th level, and if that's the case, I'm really excited to see this 5th level because these 4 levels are good, but I want to see more. You know, it was a little bittersweet putting the game in for the last time, knowing there may only be one new level left. I decided that just in case this last level was real, it'd be best I stick with Joy-Cons. As the game got closer and closer towards the end, the levels became linear and my options for exploration were fading away. And I've gotta say, it started to become a little bit more enjoyable. As the time got closer towards the 30 days, it forced me to think outside the box. It's like some switch went off in my brain and it tried to optimize every resource I had. I needed to make sure I didn't lose any Pikmin, and if I did lose any, I was already in the process of replacing them. Things like destructible walls became a high priority because even if it only saved a few seconds, it could mean losing the run. And after 29 days, I had every piece but one. All I had was 1 day to win, which is when the infamous 5th level decided to show its face. This had to be a perfect run. If I failed, I may have to restart the game and sink another 12 hours of my life into Pikmin 1. And the second I landed, I started scouting out the area. There were walls to break, puzzles to solve, bridges to build, and there was no time left to grow more Pikmin. It was scary. I had very few yellow Pikmin left, so even losing 10 of them could mean I had to restart. There was a lot on the line for me, so this had to be perfect. So after scouting the area, I made my final moves. Yeah, I really overthought the last level in Pikmin. Wow. Yeah, I overthought how difficult this level would be. But that's perfectly fine, because this is what I wanted and expected out of a Pikmin game. So, as I watched the credits roll, I reflected on my time with this game and was happy to end on such a high note. It's easy to tell that Pikmin 1 was and still is a fantastic game, but it's also the first of its kind. It was a blast to play through this childlike wonderland with a slightly more mature theme, but there were also some big standout issues that seem to have been fixed in the newer Pikmin titles. So, as your first Pikmin game, it's a bit hard to recommend knowing there could be better options out there, but for fans of the Pikmin franchise, the first game is a must play. But even though this was my first Pikmin game, I still had a fun time.